Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about skills, certifications, resumes, and where you should be putting all of this. On LinkedIn, it makes it pretty easy because there's actually a certifications and awards section where you can really cleanly put in your certifications and your skills. But on a resume, some people put it at the top, some people put it at the bottom, some people don't have a dedicated skill sections. Lots of decisions that you can make. Dave, what do you think?
So, you're going to hear this theme from me over and over again. How do you best present that you are qualified for a job, right? And the job of your resume is to get you an interview. And so the person who is reviewing these resumes, they need to very quickly, research shows in 6 seconds, decide whether to move you forward in the process or not. So anything that can build your credibility for that job. So if you are applying for a job and it says you need to be PMP certified and you have that certification, you best bet that you should put that certification on there. If you are PMP certified and you're applying for a marketing manager job, it's probably not going to help you, right? People might think like, oh, well, it shows that I'm like eager. It's like, it doesn't really help. And they might even go as far as to say, this person's not focused. Why are they taking project management courses when they're a marketer? I want to see marketing certifications. So things that boost the confidence in bringing you in. And so that's really how I think about it. Don't just blanket throw on certifications. All these things require nuance. And so do things that build the confidence that you are qualified for the position.
Yeah, I agree a lot with that. And, that kind of brings up another point, which is the resume that you submit for a job application doesn't have to be the same for every single job that you apply to. There are plenty of people, there's a big overlap between marketing and HR because most large HR departments within larger companies actually have an entire employer brand team, which is essentially marketing. A lot of recruiting teams have a marketing team built into the recruiting team where they're focused on their employment funnel, which is, attracting candidates and being able to bring in applicants. And so, if you are applying for, you could be in that role and have HR experience and marketing experience. But depending on what you're applying for next, you might pick and choose the certifications that are most relevant to the job description that you're applying for. Now, the question of where do you put that on your resume, if you put that at the top of your resume versus at the bottom of your resume, I think the same advice holds true here as education. The earlier that you are in your career, those skills and those certifications really, really matter, right? So, for instance, at Teal, we use a tool called HubSpot, and HubSpot does have a learning curve. And somebody who has spent 2 to 3 years learning HubSpot is going to be uh, more familiar with some of the advanced tools in there. On marketing in general, if you're doing any type of digital marketing, knowledge in Google Analytics is a must at nearly every single company. And so for entry level roles, for individual contributor roles, even for first level manager roles, having those skills and being able to check that box is absolutely important going into an interview. Later on in your career, for instance, for somebody who's applying for a VP of marketing role, knowing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript might become less critical for that role. And things like managing advertising budgets, being able to recruit, hire, and lead large teams, being able to set alignment and vision across a team end up being more important. But those are not necessarily always certifications. It happens through experience. And so there, something that you might want somebody to see is, managed a X million dollar marketing budget, developing campaigns that led to a 50% increase in year over year new customers. I'm just making that up on the whim. But I'm bringing that up to say, Dave pointed out earlier, you only have statistically 7 seconds to be able to catch somebody's attention. And the top of your resume, all the eye tracking studies, which have looked at the eyes of recruiters and hiring managers and looked at where they're looking as they're scanning a resume, all show that the first few seconds are all in the top half of the page. And so for somebody later in their career, that bullet point ends up taking way more precedent versus early in your career where knowing that you have the capabilities and competencies of these specific tools or programming languages ends up being more important for those particular roles.
Yeah, I agree. To do what's going to make you present yourself best. I really like a professional summary at the top. So if you don't have a lot of work experience to use that, you can talk about some of your certifications, some of your things. The other thing I'd look at is, be mindful that the certification speaks to your abilities in an approachable way, right? This recruiter may not know what that certification is. So, if you have to kind of like reshape it or put in like a describer of what it is, that like what skills you gain from it, think about that also, right? Because don't make them do the work. Have them as fast as possible understand why you're qualified for the position.
Yeah, what a great point. And that becomes even more important for people who are switching careers. If you're switching from one job function to another job function, certifications are a great way to get one foot in the door of a new industry or one foot in the door of a new job function without actually having work experience in that area. Is that misleading? Is that lying? No, it's absolutely not. Anybody can go get a Google Analytics certification. So somebody who has spent their career in customer success or operations and they want to pivot into marketing, going out and getting some of those free certifications that are available online is a great way to be able to show you're not only interested in an area, but you're focused on getting to that area. You're willing to do the work to be able to learn that area. And it speaks to you as a candidate. And that would be much, much better than walking into an interview saying, I want to switch into this area, but I haven't taken any actual steps to get in that direction yet. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening to this episode. Wherever you're watching this, scroll down, leave a comment for us. We love reading the comments. If you have questions for future episodes, that's where we get all of our ideas for future episodes. So if you have any questions about careers, job search, throw that in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much. See ya.